Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. And don't forget as well that I do have another channel, and you can check out more about things you saw in the intro to this channel, my frugal renovations, living off grid, and my abandoned village where I live. So do go over and check out my other channel, which you can see running on the ticker tape below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe while you're over there. Thank you so much for that. And hello, not just to those of you watching live, but also to those of you watching this back later. You are most appreciated. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so let's have a look first of all as to what we've got coming up on today's live. So let's take a look at that, what is happening today. So I think the first thing we'll do today is we'll have our quote corner, and I have a brand new quote corner for you today. So hope you enjoyed this one. So let's begin first of all today with this segment. So I'm going to continue a little bit more with what I started reading in this segment on my last live. And don't forget, all these little intro bits are so you can find the sections you're looking for if you're going back to previous lives. I don't necessarily do themes in a set order. So take a note of the little intro, what it looks like, fast forward through my last live. And when you see that, you can find part one of this story, but it's fine to carry on where we are if you just want to listen to this one. And this is, I explain more about the background of this in my last live, but this is basically the story of someone who grew up where I used to live in England in the same area. And this is her stories from when she was young. And I bought this book because obviously it had old pictures of where I lived. So continuing reading, she says, I was the firstborn, and my parents were at that time living in Wadden Court Road on the outskirts of Croydon. But it seems that my mother very soon suffered from loneliness and disliked the separation from her own family. So she badgered my father until he agreed to return to Wallington, and then they set up house, what was known as the Myrtles in Park Lane, only a few minutes away from my grandparents and various aunts and uncles. By this time, I was about 2 or 3 years old, and of course, the next phase in my life was greatly influenced by changes caused by the outbreak of the First World War in 1914. My father joined the army, having previously belonged to the Surrey Yeomanry. Mother let the house furnished, and we went back to live with my grandparents for the duration at Normanhurst in Grosvenor Road, the large detached family residence which, in addition to possessing several bedrooms, a morning room, a gun room, and coach house, was blessed with huge cellars and walk-in pantries under the house, thus providing very secure shelters from possible air raids. In fact, I can still recall spending several nights down there during the Zeppelin attacks on London, and thought it great fun, not realising the potential dangers, of course. In normal times, the shelves of these pantries were crammed with milk, eggs and butter for the coolness, cold roast joints, bowls of stewed fruit and so on. The other part of the cellarage housed bottles of wine, coal, wood and garden brooms, etc. And there's a picture here. So it's the bottom one is the place she's talking about now. So that picture there is this big house she's speaking of now. It's that. Let's read a little more. From this distance, I now see that the Wallington of my childhood was still largely the village that my mother had known in her young days, as compared with the large outer London suburb that it has since become. However, this was not quite the historic hamlet of Wallington. This Wallington was now centred round the station, on what had been fields before the second half of the 19th century. The old village or hamlet was now on the fringe of Wallington by the Green and was itself a 19th century suburban growth. So this is a picture. I've actually got this original postcard and it's where my house was that I live, and it used to be lavender fields. So there's some of that. So we'll leave that there for today and we can continue with that another time if you're showing interest in that. So let me know if you're enjoying hearing about that for our current story time. Okay, let's go on to this. Okay, so the question of the day is going to be from questions that I recorded myself answering on my main channel. So I'm now going to ask you, and I would like you to put your comments below once this is up live, and I want your answers as to the following question, because I'm always answering them. I've already answered these, so you can go back and look at that video, but please drop your answer in the comments under this video. The question I'm picking is, what is your favourite photograph that you have? What is your favourite photograph that you have? And in the video, I showed my favourite photograph. And don't be swayed by your first picture of when you had a baby or your wedding picture, something obvious like that. Is there something else that you really treasure? Perhaps it's some very old pictures of relatives of yours. And if you have old pictures of your relatives, how far back have you got pictures? Or do you have what a lot of people have, old pictures of past family, but you don't know who they are? So please get writing on the back of some of your pictures. Do you still take proper photographs? Or do you just use your phone and keep them on your phone? Do you download them? Do you print them? What do you do when you take pictures? I love the old days of photographs when you had an actual camera with filming and you were so careful with those pictures. Mostly there were 12 or 15 on a roll, but then they went up to 20 and I think 25 on a roll. So you had to be careful with them. You had to take things you really wanted to take. If people of my generation knew that people of this generation wasted pictures on taking pictures of food, and here I am, selfie, selfie, selfie. It's just ridiculous, really. Just ridiculous it's what I call throwaway pictures. Are they pictures you'd look back on again, or are they just people who post pictures? So if you do like watching Instagram or anything like that, and you just scroll through to look at pictures, what type of pictures interest you? So if you had to pick 3 or 4 subjects of choice of types of pictures to click on. Only photographs, pictures, not film. And don't look at captions, just an actual photograph. Do you, for example, like sunsets? Or do you like looking at people's food that they're about to eat? Do you like locations and destinations? Do you like pictures of people? Or do you like animal pictures? So if it's just an actual photograph, what type of pictures do you like to see? So yes, and when you had the old film in cameras, you had to take it out, put it in a special black container, and then after your holiday, you would go in your local chemist or pharmacy. Sometimes there were photo shops themselves where they would develop, and you hand them in and you got them back about a week or more later. And then in more modern times back then, you could actually post them off and then they would come back in the post developed. Quite often you get the wrong people's photographs, which was always fun. Or you would have those, let's say 12 photos, and they would be blurred, or there'd been some mistake made at the developing place and they'd all be ruined. Or I used to get occasionally, you had to hand wind on the film after you've taken a photo. I'll explain it for those who don't know. You used to click the camera and then you used to have to hand wind the film on, and then you could take the next picture. But occasionally when they came back from the developers, for some reason they wouldn't have wound on quite enough, so maybe you had to feed the film in initially into your camera. You didn't just put it there and it happened. You had to feed it in, and maybe it wasn't completely fed in enough that it would do how many clicks to wind it on. But if it hadn't started correct, and you got the photos back and they'd slightly have the next picture in each one, so that was quite fun. So do tell me all about your photography, remembering days gone by of how you used to take them, what disasters would be. Those were the days when you used to pay for a photographer to take your wedding and cross your fingers they got it right and didn't miss anything. Wasn't people all around could take lots of footage and whatever else. So let me know your memories about taking photos and having them developed in the past. That would be quite good fun. Okay, so that was question of the day. Let's do some shout outs. The tambourine always signifies shout outs. I used to always call it tambourine time. So intermittently throughout my lives, I would suddenly shake the tambourine and then it would be a shout out. But let's do a bulk of shout outs right now. So I'm just going to run their names. Today I'm going to shout out Creative Laurie. I'm going to shout out My Mountain Home and Kitchen. I'm going to shout out Tony Rad, Tonirad. Let's do one more. Let's do the Gypsy and the Vanilla Gorilla. So they're my shout outs for today. Go and check out their channels. And don't forget, always let people know where you know of their channel from. If you're new to my channel, or maybe you've been here a while and you haven't told me how you knew of my channel. It's always interesting to know how you found someone's channel. So let's go on now. I have to mark off what I've done. Let's do this. Okay, so the quiz today, I'm trying to do lots of different subjects in my quiz and different abilities. So let's do today bones and muscles. Ooh, how good are you? Do you actually know your body? So question 1, I'll read all the questions first, and then when I've read the questions, I'll go through them again with the answers, so it gives you time to think. Question 1. When a person raises their forearm, do their triceps contract or relax? So when you raise your forearm, does your triceps contract or relax? Think about it. I guess you're all doing it now to try and make sure you've got the right answer. Okay, question 2. How many bones are there in an adult's skull? And I'll give you options. 2, 12, or 22. So are there 2, 12, or 22 bones in your skull? I'm sure everyone knows how many bones are in their body. That's quite a common quiz question, but in your skull. Okay, next question. Do people have more muscles or more bones in their bodies? So do you have more bones or more muscles in your body? Next question. Is the shoulder joint a hinge joint or a ball and socket joint? Is the shoulder joint a hinge joint or a ball and socket joint? I'm sure you've got that right. Next one. What is the largest bone in the human body? And you must know that. Surely you could sort of look at your body and work that one out. So what is the largest bone in the human body? The next one. What is the name of the 8 bones that together encase the brain? What is the name of the 8 bones that together encase the brain? 3 more questions. The mandible is another name for what part of the body? I think that's an easy one. The mandible is another name for which part of the body? In which part of the body is the smallest bone? I bet you don't get that right. Maybe you need to think. In which part of the body is the smallest bone? And the last one today, how many bones are there in the human skeleton? Now, if you've done biology at school or anatomy, you will know that. That's like a basic first exam of high school. How many bones are there in the human skeleton? I said that's always in quizzes, didn't I? And there it is. So if you do quizzes a lot, remember it if you don't know the answer, because it will come up again. So let's go through the answers and let me know in the comments below how many you got right, or tell me what ones you didn't get. First question. When a person raises their forearm, do the triceps contract or relax? And the answer is relax. They relax. How many bones are there in an adult skull? 2, 12, or 22? And the answer is, did you get it? 22. The next question was, do people have more muscles or more bones in their bodies? Do you know? The answer is muscles. Okay. Next one. Is the shoulder joint a hinge joint or a ball and socket joint? of course it's a ball and socket joint. If you can twist something, it's a ball and socket joint. What is the largest bone in the human body? Did you get it? It's your thigh bone. So if you know, it's called the femur. The femur. What is the name of the 8 bones that together encase the brain? It's a cranium, isn't it? Cranium. And 3 more. The mandible is another name for what part of the body? It's, of course, the lower jaw. In what part of the body is the smallest bone? Did you get this one? Let me know. It's the ear. Did you think of the ear? And the last one was, how many bones are there in the human skeleton? How many of you know it? It's 206. Yes, 206. So I hope you enjoyed that. As I say, each quiz I'm doing totally different subjects. So there's bound to be something there. And it also shows you your mid-range of general knowledge. So that's a good bit of fun there. Okay, let's go on today. It's Friday, so it must be this. And so as it's spring, what could be better than to share with you all farm and other baby animals in Cyprus in spring. So do enjoy this video and I will see you on the other side. So I hope you enjoyed that. That's a little look at some of the baby animals currently happening currently in Cyprus at the moment. There are so many little birds and many other things. As I say, if you want to see more, look through my playlist on this channel. There's a playlist just on animals, and also on my main channel, New Beginnings, my everyday life in rural Cyprus. Now, I do have a third channel as well. I do have a third channel, and my husband also has a channel. And what I'm going to be doing now is, as I finish here, I'm going to go to one of my other channels, which is here, Everything Dance Your Mentor. And I'm going to be going on there in a minute and doing another episode of my dance journey. If you don't know what that is, then let's give you a little promo of that so you know where I'm going and what I'm going to be doing as soon as I finish this live. Let me see. Oh, maybe I don't have it still on here. No, I think I don't have it here, but what I can do is give you the little intro bit which explains it to you. Let me see. Let me see. I think this might help. And also on that channel, intermittently between my lives of my dance journey story, I'm also doing episodes of Q&A dance related questions. So whether you're new to dancing and maybe you want to know what sort of dance you should do, whether you're a parent, a dance teacher, maybe you want to set up your own dance school, maybe you want to get into dance professionally, maybe you're just doing dance already and want to query something, anything and everything to do with dance, dance costume, the dance world, professional or amateur, then I answer your questions. So if you've got any questions, then go on to that channel and then you can ask me any questions and I will include it in future videos. So I'm going over there now to do a live, and it will actually be another part of my dance journey. So if you want to watch them in the correct order, then go and look at the lives. They're all the lives and you will find them there. So thank you very much for being here. You are so much appreciated. As I always say, with so many different channels out there, and you choose to stop by and spend some time with me. So thank you so much for that. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you like what you see, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.